Okay. That is why we have a first stream. I had to shut down all of OBS to get this running. Great. Okay. I can see stuff in my OBS that it's moving. Because that was the issue. It would not connect to YouTube. It would not show the game and stuff properly moved out of the settings. But hey, look! Finally here! And this is why it's the first stream, so that way I can handle all these teething issues. There's no better way to put that. But now I've finally got my chompers into this! Let's go! Whew. Okay. There's no one in chat. So for all you time travelers that are watching me from the future, I've only seen people play Ace Attorney games, and I've, surprisingly, never been spoiled on Apollo Justice. So, I'm gonna play Apollo Justice and do some voices. Because imitation is flattery and all that. So, I would say I'll wait like 5 to 10 minutes so people can show up, but it's already 14 minutes past the start date. So, I'm just gonna get into the game. Set background music, switch games, options. I've already gone through the options. So let's just start a new game. Turnabout Trump. It's someone painting. Is this Larry? Cards. Move across the table. Showdown time. That's a pretty good hand. That's not a good hand. You lose. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. I'm not even pushing any buttons, it's just auto-scrolling. April 20th, 9:37 a.m., District Court. Defendant Lobby, number 3. Oy. Hey, look, there's the judge on an interestingly painted picture. Panic, palms sweaty. I can admit it, I'm nervous. Good morning. I don't know who this is. Oh. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. What? Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial. It's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice. Workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down. If you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir! I'm all over that drift! Yep. Like Tokyo. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes! Yes! I'm fine! I say that too much, sir! One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. Hey! Same brain. People might take you the wrong way. Boom. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not just that, my first ever Ace Attorney game. And not that I'm worried or anything. These games are notorious for being interesting, to say the least. The defendant has been accused of murder, because who hasn't in this city? My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Hey, the one character I know. Whoa. Huh? Good, morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial. Nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. And just general arrest. Why are you saying that out loud? I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're... Fine! I'm fine! Ah, Mr. Fine, is it? Oh. I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start, Mr. Phoenix, right? Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? You keep... Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. Gavin? Really? That's my foe? Gavin? And he's your friend, so why... You'll see. That is deranged look from Nick. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, it's time. Shall we? Yes, sir! I'm fine. I didn't even tell him my name. Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice! It's a dumb catchphrase. You can hear that? No one can think of this universe. We just mumble to each other.
The court is now in session.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is, fine! I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank, don't panic. Too late.
Your name was Mr. Justice, and this is your first trial.
Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really.
Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Have you been watching those videos? Mr. Gavin?
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, Christoph Gavin? What a funky name.
I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case.
That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice.
Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? Do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin.
Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience. Fine. But does he have cords of steel?
Let's begin. Defendant may enter the courtroom. You look familiar. This is truly my beard got in my face. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright.
Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Look at my crazed eye. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened?
I won't speak of it any further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne.
To think! I saw you enter this room a fresh-faced attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains.
Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see.
Was that sarcasm? Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. Oh, I could have never guessed. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, well, wrong in this case, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold.
Okay, a customer at the restaurant, you say. And the defendant, you say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright. A pianist? Why are you looking at your badge? Do you hear it?
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice, because we couldn't put vodka in a child's game, nor wine, so it's just old grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. Really?
The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence.
Deadly bottle added to the court record. Deadly bottle, grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon. Bears the defendant's Mr. Wright's prints. I put too many S's in that. Ooh. What is that image in my evidence? Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Yeah, right. I've heard of that. You push the E button to do that. What are you talking about? Like this. Where'd my face go? Justice, what are you doing? The sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. And then... Christoph Gavin. Yeah, that's his name. Boss at Gavin Law Offices, a first-rate defense attorney. And my all these descriptions are being read in Apollo's voice, and my trusted mentor. Phoenix Wright, age 33. Pianist at the Borscht Bowl Club, formerly an ace defense attorney of some renown. There's like video games about him or something? Shady Smith, the victim in this case, a traveler, only recently back in the country. Winston Payne, the prosecuting attorney. For all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. He's 61? Huh. He doesn't look... I would have guessed he's like, 40s or something. Wait. He's nearly double Phoenix's age. So that means if Phoenix was like, 5 years younger, 28. That means Winston was in his 50s when he took on Phoenix. And then Shady Smith, age unknown. Attorney's badge. The best joke. Ooh, it is 3D. What? Examine, zoom in, zoom out, reset camera, options, autoplay. Autoplay? No. No clues here. Oh, right. The arrow key. It's a little screw on. Huh, I wonder if those smudges will be important later. Back. Victim's name, Shady Smith. Male. Estimated time of death, April 17th. Between 1:45 and 2:15. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage resulting from blunt force trauma to the head. To the forehead, specifically. And let's inspect the bottle. I know bottles are tough and all, but it didn't break. I wonder if that's going to be a plot point. Ace Attorney is slightly predictable.
Use E to look at the evidence so far.
Oh, I already did that! It says in the bottom,
what are you on about? I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Don't make me wrong.
Right. Just use E. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action.
So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. I've forgotten the judge's voice already. It was like billowing. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to his country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht's Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
If they had only just met, then why murder? Did they give a wrong opinion on Twitter? Perhaps the victims slighted the defense's piano playing.
That doesn't appear to have been the case. Phoenix can't play a piano. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. What I just said. At least, not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. He sucks at drinking. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Winston, are you out of breath? No, I'm just being dramatic. I'm the senior attorney here.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime! I didn't get to read my voice box.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
Objection!
That's his voice, Christoph. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game. In the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again?
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. We apparently still don't have the evidence for colored photos yet. I believe the defense was waxing poetically in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. That's all I think about.
That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards.
Yeah, this is Papa on my hat, you see.
No! Very well, defendant. It does say Papa on your hat. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure. Look at my weird eye again. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing.
Witness testimony.
Competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. Oh, okay. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And our customers are happy.
A pianist who can't play piano.
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor. I'm fine. The first cross-examination. Don't blow it.
Are you all right? You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? What? Where?
It's a figure of speech justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too.
My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. But I'm fine.
You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher?
What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher? A refresher course in cross-examination? Refresher course? Please. I've never done it. Better safe than sorry, especially this early in the game. Can I see the fourth wall? Yes! Teach me. I know nothing.
Indeed. Your job, Justice, is to be mindful of the court record and the testimony. Looking for inconsistencies in the testimony. Sorry, I don't have an excuse for that one. Inconsistencies in the testimony with what the court record tells you. When you found an inconsistency, that's when you present the conflicting evidence from the court record with a...
But how'd you do that with your mouth, sir?
I don't know.
But I didn't hear anything. You just went... What do I press? Anything strange in the testimony somehow.
A good sign is you need to press the witness with Q for more information.
Press him? But he's all the way over there.
Don't let the fact that he's a remarkable man hold you back. Get more information. God, he is really enraptured by that button.
But isn't Mr. Wright my client?
Yeah? Well, think you can do it?
Yes, thank you, sir. I'm fine. I think I can do it, because I'm fine.
I think you'd better. What? I think you'd better. Or we're going to have a problem. Just remember, find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it.
Inconsistencies, lies, Phoenix Wright. Why wasn't his name in orange?
I don't know.
As if Phoenix Wright would never lie. And it's up to me to prove it. God, why is he so enraptured by that button?
The defense may begin cross-examination.
The competition. I'm a pianist by trade. Yeah, I can hardly play at all. My job is... Oh, right.
Hold it!
The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borched Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market?
Yeah, all the photos were just black. No white, no right. All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say, there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room. Gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through that small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping an eye. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. That's
Hold it!
So, you claim you weren't gambling.
That's right. It was simply a game. And I'm simply from a game.
You didn't bet any money. Not even a little?
The only thing at stake in our game was pride itself. Well put, Mr. Wright. I've got a mind to play a hand of poker. The stakes, your fate.
Can we get back to the trial now?
I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more info, don't forget to press.
But, right, I got it. I'm fine.
Time to listen to that testimony again.
Hold it!
You can hardly play?
Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I can wear for the world at large. Papa. Then why are you really at the Borched Bowl Club? No, we're not going to follow up on that. I'm just going to ask a question. I am the judge.
Hold it!
They pay you just to play poker.
That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. I mean, look at my crazy eye. I can see straight through red.
But the cards are blue.
Oh.
Ah! Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yes? Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I've played poker for 7 years in that little room.
Oh. Okay, there goes my math.
And I've never lost. Once. I've lost twice.
What?
You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeatable poker champion, Papa. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw.
Wait, you've never lost once! Not even one time! That's the definition of once!
As I said, I'm a wait, that's what once means? Oh, shit.
He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible?
Well, if that was his first game, then yeah.
The room where we play in competition was the club's main attraction. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using
Two decks of cards.
a simple measure to prevent cheating.
That would cause more cheating.
If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in Oh.
2 different card backs.
There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some cards lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table. Cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we use two types of cards at the club. One deck of card was red, the other was blue. It's me and you, Apollo.
Odd statement, but I'll keep it off the testimony. As I recall, in poker, you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Yeah, a game of hands. Why was everyone obsessed with hands in that statement?
This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently.
That's right. It's fine. I'm fine. It was a simple game after all. A completely fine game.
No. Are you sure?
Huh?
People are not murdered over simple games. This frickin' beard. Mr. Justice. Defendant. You were in the room the very moment the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime.
Now that's strange.
What's strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by.
Don't despair yet, Justice. This is the tutorial.
Sir?
Right. There's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not?
Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press. And I've got myself into a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder. But I will say I never touched the murder weapon. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony.
Isn't it a bit early to be... Oh, is that what they say when you get to the end? Right. Now we're back at the beginning. I gotta press this.
Hold it!
Silence?
The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law.
But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage.
And it's your job to turn that around in our favor. Yes?
Great. Like I didn't have enough to do already. He's trying to throw the protagonist powers at me.
Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony?
Huh?
Wait, something you said did ring a little strangely. It's in orange. It's important. Just one thing.
Now, what was it?
When you figure it out, I'd suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts that statement.
Contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony.
But why? I'd better check the court record. Can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony.
Isn't it a bit... Yeah.
Right, fine. Cards. Happy. Never touch the murder weapon. Present. No, frick. It's a different button to present. It's
Objection!
first objection.
oh, there's an achievement for that. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, this grape juice bottle, right?
That's my name.
not what I was talking about. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? You think that's not annoying to say as well? I'm a judge. I demand justice, but not your little butt.
Oh, look at my hair. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see. And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints.
Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears. And our case.
But, what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant?
Well, that's true.
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? What are they, Dustin prints? What? He's dead! But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted, an even bigger word. And there can only be one reason for that. He's a juggler. I mean, he's the murderer. Yes, look at that hand. To brain someone with the bottle. Ah! You look like someone from Whoville. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse.
I see no problem, Justice.
Huh?
The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant! Can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court?
Say my name.
What?
Never mind. I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now.
Not very cooperative, are you? This could only hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. And it's in orange. You just vocally capitalize the first letter.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin?
On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police?
Report.
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright.
But still, that. Really? Why was that not in the case files?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? I just had this one in my pocket. You're not allowed that yet. The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in the hallway to get above the ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made the call. Right? This has a tag of evidence on it. Have you not upgraded your phones in 7 years?
Give me a sec, I need to cough. Ugh. It's Payne doing Payne's voice. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Ugh. I also drank some water because it's always good to stay hydrated. Yet, he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities.
And you claim he is being uncooperative?
Ugh.
Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toyed, I assure you. No one is more serious about
What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this?
That's a good question.
How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness.
You're as good as they say you are.
So, someone else was in the room where it happened. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up until now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready?
No, I'm not fine.
Very well. Case closed. We'll do it another day. Oh, okay, fine. Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand.
Oh, who's this?
The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold up! Just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she has been frightened by the defendant's demonic-looking horns. You ever met an Oni with 2 horns from the forehead, man?
So I used a little air gel. Relax. Look, it moves with my emotion.
That's magic! Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
You are sure?
I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out.
Is it violence against hair a crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you are sure it is okay.
Now, wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's paraphernalia?
Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. She catches the tea, if I would say.
And that would be...
Oh, she's the ration. My name is Olga Orly. I am employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then, why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht. That is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how is it said, other service?
I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures.
Dada. Like, for example, this one. I have magic camera that has color in it.
What? That's the defendant.
Indeed. On the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput.
Indeed. I didn't realize kaput was a Russian saying. That is the victim. Order, order, order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is same way as I drop cold balls of wash on laps of customers. Casually.
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. Give us the magic camera.
The defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club.
Now, witness. Where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room. The hideout, we call it.
Excuse me, the hideout?
It is a room where famous gangster... In this room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. is the room where murder took place.
What?
Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post my courtroom door later for you. But the photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want copies of. That.
So, there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, and Olga Orley, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means...
Don't get ahead of yourself, Justice. Witness, you will testify to the court about that night's events.
Well, we were serving Mr.
Not those events, no. What happened that fateful night?
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. There. The victim, he played whole time with his hands on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. That man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death.
Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
Objection!
Mr. Wright can't lie. That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose.
Ahem.
Justice, your name is on the box. Mr. Wright can lose. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection? But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. I'm 61. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. It's another colored... Why was the first one in black and white? Was it just for that colored joke? These are the poker chips as they lay. The very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on the side belonging to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say? Those don't look very edible.
Yes. Imagine that poker is war. Can Payne speak Russian? Should I give Payne a Russian accent? Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
Oh, I know that. After all, in my youth, the poker head of courtroom number 3.
I think he means poker face.
Looking at this picture, there's too many damn colors. It does seem that most of the chips were on the victim's side of the table.
Chips photo added to the court record.
Very well, the defendant may cross-examine the witness.
That fateful night. Okay. I know that this game wants you to, like, press everything. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often?
I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht, pictures. It is my work.
It's good to hear a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. I'm old.
Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses.
Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination.
It was called with hats on.
It's already April. How could it be cold?
At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride of authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Too many R's in that sentence. Outside, it is city in spring, but inside it is always cold as Mother Russia.
No way am I going there. Does it go to Russia later?
When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning. Yeah?
Yeah. The victim. He plays whole time with his hands locked up at his neck. His locket? Yes, it's like pocket, but it dangles on lace, so I say locket.
I don't think that's how that word is made.
I believe it was good luck charm there. He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes. He must have felt as though it may carry him to the moons and the stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it would have had much lift.
The defendant would like a clarification. Is this a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Am I right? Not a rocket?
Of course! I knew that! It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she calls it like that.
Not a locket's a locket.
It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society.
Hard of hearing? He's a judge with oral reciprocation. What? So what happened next? The enlaced hand is done, but something terrible has happened.
Something terrible?
The defendant will refrain from needless shouting.
Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Don't we all? Now, Mrs. Orley, can you tell us what happened? Can you tell Mr. Payne can't read? He's got glasses. Oh, I was so frightened. I tremble with fear. That man flew at the victim and is strangling him.
Strangling is in the current tense. But the defendant would never do such a thing.
That does sound like a Russian squeal. Well, now, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic.
If possible, please refrain from embarrassing me, Justice.
Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker?
Perhaps it is because defendant has lost game?
Yes! A crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it is always with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall. Don't ask how the hair got like this.
Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do.
Right, sir. I'm fine. Leave it to me. It'll be fine.
There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder.
The victim, Shady Smith,
And Mr. Wright.
and
If Mr. Wright isn't the killer,
I've got you now, Orly. I'm like a dog. I only see things in my current view. That game, customer is... Oh.
Objection!
the witness's statement is clearly false, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Penalty?
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Ah, I must be on the wrong track. Oh, no. Oh, I think I know what to present. I need to present the autopsy to... Yep, there we go. Yep, no, present.
Objection!
There we go. Music change. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's cold. Odd. I can read.
The normal customers only choke on borscht.
No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head.
What?
Miss Orley. Really, Snow? I mean, now, did you witness the crime?
Ah! I am Spider-Man.
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was even hit. He was still wearing his hat and everything.
Oh, I think I've got this. Shady Smith lost. And to make it look like a normal thing, the person put them in the other side. Phoenix still hasn't lost. Yet, it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Ooh. Ooh. I really hope that's hair and not blood. Here's a victim. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? Is that hair or blood? His head certainly was hit. And why, as the police, do you not have colored photos?
It's magic, sir.
I don't care. We had undead people coming back and possessing small girls. Is evidence. We can get a magic photo.
But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck.
Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me.
Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination.
There's such a thing as thinking too much? I wonder if they just hate the fact that they have to color code all the thinking thoughts as blue. And that's why he's saying it. It's a word from the developers themselves. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. See, more evidence. No one can think quietly.
That night, customer asked me to do cards for the game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. That.
And I know what to present now.
Objection!
That. No. Music didn't change. The witness statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. Penalty. You know, you have to use the photo of the banana, not the banana.
What do I have? Okay, so it's just these objects. Oh, that's new. You didn't say anything about hitting before.
Oh, sorry. I must be forgetting this.
Witness! You will take greater care with your testimony.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
And that clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant made to strangle his victim, then changed his mind and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely. So he strangled him, then hit him? My forehead is so mushy. Something's fishy about all this. It's probably the borscht.
Go ahead. I believe you know what is you need to do.
Right, sir. I'm fine. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright wasn't the killer, I got you. terrible. Oh, it's the same thing. We get no information from this spot. No. That just sends you back to the start with a lengthy thing. For acid cards. It's cool. Both players played with hats on.
Hold it!
And oh, how old is she? 21. Tiny little Russian girl. I can't present stuff while in the press. And if I press the locket thing, we get onto the rocket thing.
Hold it!
This scene again.
Hold it! Hold it!
I feel so stupid. This is the first case. How can I not figure this out?
Objection! Hold it!
Let's just try and press this one again. Is lock it? Yeah, yeah.
Hold it!
Let's just try the badge. This evidence clearly contradicts it, because my badge, it's got a screw in the back. Just gonna save it here. Cause, oh boy. What the frick am I supposed to do? I didn't get any new pieces of evidence.
Objection!
Let's see the death animation.
Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Justice.
That didn't go so well.
That's enough. I see no need to further prolong this trial. The defense's case is insufficient to overturn the prosecution's claims. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, guilty. The defendant will surrender himself to the court's care to undergo a regular trial at the High Court within a month's time. Court is adjourned.
Frick. What am I to do? History is just the text. Press lock it. Press that. Already pressed that. Wait. You didn't say anything about the game before. That. No. Continue. No, I don't know what to do, Gavin. Let's try and just look at the bottle. This is. Oh. Okay. I didn't realize you can inspect certain parts. Huh? Okay, Phoenix Wright is a fidgeter. Let's just look at the attorney's badge.
There are many numbers like it, but this one is mine.
Proof that I am an attorney. To tell the truth. I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it.
Go ahead, I believe you know what is to be done.
Right, sir. Leave it to me. There are only 3 people in the room at the time.
Objection!
Eh. Let's just try everything.
Objection!
This evidence clearly contradicts, aren't they? Eh. I refuse to use a walkthrough, cause I don't want to spoil myself on later stuff. I just want to see how easy it is to, you know, take one of these games and just press everything.
Objection!
What do you think about witness statements? Not sure I follow you. They clearly contravene your. Ah. Okay, yeah, let's save it here so it's at the start.
Hold it!
Let's just press everything again.
Hold it! Hold it!
At least the stream's working. Sadly, game logic isn't.
Hold it!
And my logic isn't. I could just be really dumb.
Hold it! Hold it!
I really thought doing the last one and then swinging back around to the second last one where they say, hey, keep it up with your testaments and stuff, that it would, like, maybe change the result, but no!
Objection! Objection!
No, how'd I open that menu?
Objection!
Ah. All right. Yeah. I'm on a stream. Break the rules. Pull up a guide. 'Cause- Gosh, I don't know what to do next. This. What is this level even called? Trump walk through. Okay. Third statement. Present crime scene photo. Crime photo 2. Really?
Objection!
You know, there was one curious part in her testimony. Just like Mr. Gavin said. No. No. Liar. Face of a liar. But what does it mean?
Mr. Justice! You have broken the time continuum! How many times did you load this save? And then you pulled up a walkthrough?
Yeah, because who would ever think to put those two things together?
I don't know, people who know the series before. Would you care to explain what it is you're thinking about so intensely?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see the locket on the... Oh! That... I thought she was talking about Phoenix! What? I feel like I missed something. And I've been tapping through the dialogue I'm supposed to be talking.
If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
The lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. Oh. It's on Phoenix's neck. Oh. Oh no. Oh, you can't get details on people.
It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off. No?
Taking it off. Wait. You don't mean...
The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Ah!
What?
Defendant, what do you have to say to this?
Ah, it's on my Sprite.
What, say?
Yeah.
I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you?
Oh? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter.
What?
Phoenix has a kid?
Come again?
Mr. Wright, have you a daughter? You have a daughter? I don't know why I said it old-timey.
We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm called Papa?
What? So, Mr. Wright, the hat has a meaning? Why don't I buy that? Is it just a coincidence?
Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly.
Miss Orley, will you testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant?
Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 points in chip for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who is winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant played with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Ah, how many times have I heard these words? I done it in a... I didn't read that fast enough.
Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong.
Serious competition. The game began with 3 points for each man. House chips come in two sizes.
Okay, yeah, well, just press everything.
Hold it!
Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Usual again. Usual rules.
If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be exactly 7,000 points.
Please. This isn't calculus. It's not even long division. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course. I'm not hiding in the pot. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder?
Yeah, fire it well.
Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips and why there's no fish. Explain? What is there to explain?
Objection! Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block, not a... Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something.
What are the chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Yeah. As I have been saying before, it was again not gambling. Hard, perhaps, for capitalists to understand. 2 types of chips. 100 point and 1,000 point chips. It is not money, that. Justice. Sir! Don't you find her comment interesting? Yeah, it seems to be an old stereotype of Russian people being communist. In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself.
Well, does the defense want the witness to add it to it?
Always.
Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny.
Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this.
Very well, witness, if you would be so kind.
Your Honor. One kind of chip is worth that and that. And how many chips? Okay. Yeah, so if these were the 500 chips. Yep, everything's up to snuff. But press! Mr. Gavin said this testimony was important. To be honest, I have no idea why.
Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. We are not in kindergarten.
Ah, sorry, I'm fine. Better think of something to ask. Quick. 2 types of chips. The small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1,000? Right. Right, of course. Ha! I did the counting. Don't waste our time.
Is that all?
Yeah, I'm fine. Great. Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb.
Oh, Justice, please try to not embarrass me like that and make me slip up my words.
Who? Me?
There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands.
What?
It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on. Use your brain. We're not in kindergarten, after all.
Calculation. Who's winning was the Vic. Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. They should have 4,100 points. And they've only got 9 black chips. So that's only 1,000. No, I wanted to present. You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure? Objection! It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. At a glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. We're not in kindergarten.
Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court?
Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which are worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips is 7,000.
Yes. If my calculations are correct, let's see. 3 plus 1 carry the 5.
They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. The big chips are worth 1,000 points, and the small chips are worth 100 points. And you add them up. How much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, aren't you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's statement. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know what, you must determine the why. And you must determine the right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Both were right. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer.
Well, what is it?
The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Why? Is this a dime and nickel situation? Want to know what I think? The small chips are worth 10,000 points, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness!
Show me that photograph of the chips once again. I'm getting hungry. There are only 6 small chips and 10 larger chips. Why? That does make 7,000 points when you add them up. I did it faster than fucking Payne over there.
Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself, and you didn't use a guide.
Well, I'm just glad I was fine and the one who said it. But wait! The value of the chips may
differ, but that changes nothing. This is golf.
Indeed, the victim did have the larger amount of chips still. Ah! Oh.
Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100 points, let's do the kindergarten math. Add up the points for each side of the table.
Oh no!
The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 and Mr. Wright had 4,100 points.
Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all.
That's impossible!
My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning!
Ah!
Now, Mrs. Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you?
Ah! I'm Spider-Man.
Order! Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust this witness's testimony. Excuse me? What is it, Miss Orley?
I do not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, see what, Miss Orley? What do you see? In the last end, there was cheat. Cheat? You don't mean a trick?
Wait, or do you mean a scam?
They're all the same fucking thing. Yes, pedantics aside, there was cheat, scam, trick in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are.
Great. Just great. God, my brain is broken. First, we have lying. Now, cheating. Next, divorce. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn.
For the interesting. Witness, will you please testify to the court? Tell us about this cheating trick scam in the final hand.
Little tiny girl. The last hand, both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed, but he took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith.
Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Or just the borscht.
You smell borscht?
Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers.
Odd statement. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. I have a dictionary. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house?
Well, it's a show.
Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker. Yeah, because I'm not a criminal. What?
I can't say this bodes well for your case or career.
What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring?
Yes. Justice. Look at us.
You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah! I learned that in after kindergarten. No problem. 2 cards with the same number make a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind. Good. Now, picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. I believe it's pronounced 13 of a kind.
No. That's a full house.
It does sound a bit easy. Okay, I'm just gonna check. And as they lay. If the aces were the same, then it'd be easy, but nope. It's all 4 aces. Doesn't sound very easy to make, does it?
You can see each player's hand in this photo. I just looked at this.
Wow, they both have full houses.
We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
Ahem. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand? Whoever heard of a professional con man losing even when they cheat?
The final hand.
The last hand, both men had full houses.
Hold it!
And we press everything. Just how hard is it to make a full house anyway?
It is quite hard. There. It is making a pair and a 3 of a kind at the same time.
I guess that's right.
Very difficult, to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of courtroom number 3.
Very difficult. There. But it's not impossible.
Okay, full house, hard. This line of questioning, a waste of time.
There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king.
Hold it!
Tell me, you ever play 42 pickup?
It's 52 pickup, Mr. Apollo.
Oh shit! 4 of each cards, you say?
There. There is only 1 spade, one diamond,
Oh, she's saying the aces.
and 1 club for each card. It is interesting fact that is number 4 comes from number of seasons. Except there is only 1 season in Russia. Communist.
Huh? You don't say.
Ah! And did you know that the cards are numbered 1 to 13? Add all the cards in a deck and you get 364 a year.
You don't say.
That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus, you have a perfect representation of the year in a deck of cards. Is this just a fact?
Huh? You don't say.
We're going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this.
We're gonna be in this courtroom for a whole deck of cards if it keeps going like this.
If you look
Hold it!
How? How is it obvious?
well, the defendant, he played a
5th ace? What? A 5th ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's has 2.
Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand.
That's not how a metaphor works.
Shut up!
Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Payne's jokes. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please.
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and
Fucking present that. It appears the witness is mistaken, even with a magical camera.
mistaken. But my name.
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony.
That's the photo of the chips, is it not?
Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. This is kindergarten, after all. In other words, use your finger to point out your point.
Yes, please point to the photo. Aye. I am blind.
Well. Beep.
Take that!
Bam. Miss Orley, in your testament, you made the following claim.
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces.
But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces.
That was a very racist accent.
Eh.
Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Objection! Take another look at the evidence, buddy. As you can see, the defendant also has 2 aces. Where's the 5th ace? I see cheating, all right, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. Why was that sentence so difficult?
2 aces in each player's hand. Does that makes 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please. It's true. I have seen the 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying, yet she seems most sincere. I've seen her all day.
You're right to trust your instincts.
Mr. Gavin, stop poking in my head, then stop speaking aloud. Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion.
What that might be, Mr. Gavin.
If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards.
The cards?
Mr. Payne,
Yes.
the players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defendant would also like to request that the cards be shown to the court.
Very well, the prosecution will submit this as evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards?
If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Which of these hands is more suspicious? Save, because I'm at 1 life. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, we're going to check the victim's hands, because that's where the discrepancy is. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards.
Very well, Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well.
Received evidence. Victim's hand. Gavin, you don't need to say everything, but I'm useless.
Well,
That's a wasting. Well, time's a wasting. Why did I read it as that? These glasses need to be checked.
get to it, Justice.
Yes, sir. I'm fine. Examining evidence can be shown to view from all sides and angles, using the arrow keys and the B and M to zoom in and out. Gavin, you're weird. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Do not insult me for my wizard skills. Okay, I'm fine. Let's do this. Oh. What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards, the back is a different color.
That's impossible. But I put that card in right side.
Oh, no. What was that, Miss Orley?
No, yeah, no, I said, nah, I have.
Your Honor,
Mr. Gavin, yes?
tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker?
To cheat?
I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say.
That's racist.
The dealer. I read it as her.
I'm just doing an impression. Everyone seems to be doing Russian accents right now.
Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss Orley, she's the cheater? A professional, I'd wager.
I'm Spider-Man.
Order! Order!
Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, of her mistake. Oh, gods, what does that mean? No! Your Honor! Strike that piece of memory from my mental records.
Apollo, are you having a stroke?
I'm having something. I don't want it anymore. Please recall the testament we just heard, but not from my head.
That's impossible. But I put that card in the right side.
Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat. Not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What?
Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Mrs. Olga Orley. I cannot read prefixes.
Time for justice. This is my catchphrase. I'm fine. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. If Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defendant accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder.
Oof. It does not snow.
Oh, I got very scared. I thought the lobster in there was going to be a witness.
Mr. Payne, give me that lobster. I'm hungry. Where is your witness?
It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
Mr. Justice? Join her, Pop!
Your Honor.
It seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith.
And that means
This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. Excuse me. I finished the lobster.
Yep, I didn't even hand it to you. What? I did it. I held out. The time for justice is over. No, wait. No, it's always time for justice.
I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Objection!
That's Mr. Wright's voice. You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Button. Don't you wonder what it means? You're clearly insane! What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get right off the hook? Right off the hook.
Mr. Payne, no failed jokes in this courtroom. You, of all people, should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Look at the eye. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night.
As was said before by Mr. Button, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why are you speaking so slow? They use just different colored backs. If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. No, we use different colors, and they still got mixed up. You're colorblind. We used the red deck for the last game.
I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using blue cards.
Yeah, me too. It's almost like someone named Gavin here was talking about blue cards. Someone said something about blue cards. Whatever, in the end, 1 card of the... Wait a minute. I can look. They really should have been using blue cards. The blue deck is right there. In the end, 1 card got mixed into the wrong. Was put in the wrong mix. Which means there was a cheater. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo,
Look into my crazy eye.
No, thank you, but what do you want?
Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? Look into my eye.
When?
There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder.
Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was
It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be.
The fuck are you talking about?
I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first.
We can all hear what Apollo thinks first.
When do you think the cards were swapped? The cards were swapped into the deck.
I'm thinking it's after?
Objection! What's that ridiculous? What's the point of cheating after the hand has been shown? That's silly.
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible.
Objection! Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are different colors? Even if you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Oh!
Quite true. Now, wouldn't that mean the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown? After the murder?
Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game is over? Who would do that?
Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us.
There's
Another? Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for the blue card?
What?
Who? The game, the murder, is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room alive. That is, the defendant and Olga Orly. Okay, so what the hell is her pun supposed to be? I mean, who was the one to swap the cards?
I'm gonna save here, because I don't know what they're trying to pull here. Ugh. Lobster was good.
Uh-huh. I think it's Olga. She said thought she put it in
The hand. She was trying to cover up the evidence of the cheating.
that does make sense.
Hold it!
Sorry, but there's a problem with that explanation.
Huh?
Swap cards was from the wrong deck.
Yes, a blue card was stuck into a red hand.
They see a card from the wrong deck when the backs are different colors. Remember that you're talking about Olga. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake?
Actually, I have trouble even imagining even the judge making that mistake.
How do you fuck up saying stuff in your head?
Just give me a break.
Give it a little more thought, Apollo.
Stop it! Right. Okay, so who swapped it? Someone else. Someone much dunner. Yeah, I don't know what I said. The one who swapped the cards was Mr. Wright. Of course, wasn't Mr. Wright. And, well, it doesn't seem to look like a criminal.
What are you suggesting?
That's hardly a logical conclusion. I'll admit. As the defense, I think it would only make sense for you to name Miss Orly at this point. I already did, numbnuts. yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of wrong colors.
And if the cards were swapped during the game, it would be obvious.
Heh, heh.
Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking of how much fun all this is.
Objection! Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the cards wasn't the defendant and wasn't Miss Orly, then who was it?
Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it?
Precisely. Why are you so that? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction into my weird eye.
A new direction.
We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards into the victim's hand, and that someone made two critical mistakes.
I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong colored card.
Because the one who did the swapping didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card.
Right.
The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. And they knew that was the game had been won in a full house. So they picked the king from the table and swapped it in.
But there's one problem. According to our case records, this person doesn't exist.
True. Not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. This first case is about numbers, can't you tell? Each act relies on a number. This is the fourth act. This is the fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else that night at the scene of the crime.
What?
I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright.
This trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption.
Hey, that was my line.
I don't care. The problem is that you choose to conceal this information from the court, so I stole your words.
Fair play. I suppose that is a problem. Yeah?
Court is adjourned for a brief recess. You don't get any word privileges, Mr. Wright. And Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess.
Certainly, Your Honor. Don't steal my words.
Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes.
Now, the question is, do I end stream now at this great break point, or do I end it an hour from now and continue to play? I have no idea. I'm gonna keep playing. We're going for another hour, because technical difficulties at the beginning. Since I lost 10 minutes, that means you get an extra hour. Why not? Let's do this.
That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. Silently claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I'd think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I've no time for mysteries. I only ask that you leave the defense to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph.
Justice.
No, I thought your name was...
I'm referring.
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Look into my eye. This is your reward. Can I ask you... No, I'm stealing your words with my weird eye.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright?
Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. You're trying to get me to confess in front of these 2 guards. Here, you can take a look. There's a picture of my daughter in there.
Who the fuck is that? I thought it was going to be like a picture of Pearl.
I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her in one of these days.
Just one more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you?
What do you think?
Huh?
You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat.
I never honest, but
It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker.
Eh?
You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker,
It's like trial law?
figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win.
Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds.
I think not. Since I passed my protagonist problem onto you of where you have to say everything you think out loud, I've been undefeated for 7 fucking years.
Huh? What do you mean?
Try as they might conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. No one can escape the weird eye. Their body language can become a valuable source of information.
You're kidding!
That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice?
No?
Come on, who would notice that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you, because you're the protagonist now. You get the cool power.
But I'm not worthy! I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals.
No, you can do it.
Huh? Are you using that weird eye to make it so?
You just don't know it yet.
Oh god, you're using the weird eye.
What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Almost forgot one more thing about this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet.
What?
I knew it! I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. Yes, Mr. Button. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power.
My,
Power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best.
To be continued.
yeah. Bop. Bop. Do-do-do-do. Okay. Wop. Now that I'm prompted with a proper, you want to go on to the next chapter? Yeah, I think I'm just going to end it here. But hey, streaming is now an option. Woo. So, yeah, just return to main games. Title screen. Ooh, a museum. But, alrighty. This was interesting. And now to end the stream. How do I do that? Oh, gosh. Oh, right. YouTube Studio.